Oh, okay. Hello. Um, so in an effort to save time, I'm going to just go over the review quiz for test 3, but the stuff that I didn't cover, I'll like explain more how to do it, like the one-on-one functions, the inverse, all that stuff we did this week. Hold on. I'm going to burp. Excuse me. Okay. The first question says, the graph of the inverse f of x is a reflection of the graph. Wow, I hate writing words. F about the line whose equation is what? And it's y is equal to x, because when you have f of x, you have your x and y values, you've got f inverse of x. You just flip those. So what that would look like with numbers is this. So that's why it's y is equal to x. Like I wanted. Girl, I do this often. Infatuated by the fame status. Game matter. She's just happy that the crew's back in town. If I had her, you can have him and it don't matter. Alright, that's not gonna fit, so it's just gonna go right there. Or maybe I can make that often. Girl, I do this often. Okay, so first thing I would do is find x-intercepts and y-intercepts. This is one of those problems where you could do a couple different things first and they would still be right ultimately, but this is how I would do it. Now to find the x-intercept for a rational function, we set the top equal to 0. This doesn't fucking work. So there's no x-intercept. Now to get our y-intercept, we plug a 0 into the function. Baby, baby, I can make that pussy rain. Girl, I do this often, make that pussy pop and do it how I want it. Girl, I do this often. Okay, and then vertical asymptotes. We set the bottom equal to 0 and solve. Horizontal asymptotes. We look at our exponents. The top is just a 1, so that's an exponent of 0. The bottom is just x, so that's an exponent of 1. 0 is less than 1. And when n is less than m, the asymptote is always y is equal to 0. So, now that I have these things, I should be able to graph. Okay, and it's negative 0.25, so that's going to be really tiny. First thing I'm going to do is my asymptotes. X is equal to 4. And my horizontal Okay. Little purple, yellow. Now asymptotes get close. Lines get close to the asymptotes, but they don't touch. And our parent function is 1 over x, and that looks like this. So and it has to go through negative 0.25. Let me just fuck that up real fast. God. And that is your graph. Da-da. It's a push and a pull, it's a rise and a fall. I don't know you a single thing, I don't know you anything. It's to find the domain of rational function, and the rational function is we know with a function that is a fraction, the bottom can't be 0. So we set this equals 0, solve, have to exclude this value from our domain. So that's our domain. Pretty straightforward. 4. I don't know you anything at all. I don't know you, I don't know you. Okay, so this is an inequality. We want to write in big letters, font, whatever you want to call it, next to it so we don't forget what we're looking for here. Anything. Still on paint. Okay, so we solve. And then we do our sections. And then we get our test points because we don't have a graph. Okay, -3 plus 2 is -1. -3 and -3 is -6. Positive. 0 plus 2 is 2. Over -3 is negative. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 minus 3 is 1. Positive. Okay. So we've got greater than, so we want to pick the positive ones. So, and it's not greater than or equals to, so we're going to exclude these values. And then we want to put that on a number line. Okay. We've got -infinity to -2, and it's parentheses, and then 3 to infinity, and that is what your number line looks like, okay? And that's number 4. What are we on? 5. 5. X is equal to 16x over 3x squared plus 4. Find horizontal asymptote. Okay, horizontal asymptote's the easy one in my opinion. We look at our exponents. On top we've got an exponent of x, so that's just 1. And then we've got squared, x squared on the bottom, so that's exponent of 2. 1 is less than 2, and when n is less than m, it's always y is equal to 0. That's the answer. Yeehaw. True or false? Okay. You remember earlier how I said when we have f of x and f inverse of x, we have x, y, and you just flip them? So with this, we've got 3, 8, 4, 5. So the inverse would be 8, 3, and 5, 4. Is that this? No. So it's false. Okay, next. Don't die tonight, your share. It's the worst graphs you've ever seen, but I don't, not graphs, oh Jesus, worst table. I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm so sorry the tables are ugly. Just gonna have to deal. Okay, and then it says find f of g of 10. Now we know when you've got compound fractions, you just start from the inside and work your way out. So we just ignore all this and we just find g10. So what you're going to do is you're not going to look in this column, because what this technically is g of x. So we want to look for the x value, which is 10. So we want to be on this side. So 10 is right here. And when 10 is the x, g of x is negative 2. So then we've got f of negative 2. Negative 2 is 4. So f of g of 10 is equal to 4. Okay? Take a shot every time I say okay. And if I already said that, take another shot. Addicted to you. Tell me what you want. Solve. Graph. Solution set. on number line. Heartbeat raising, body raising. Okay, see, they've already factored this for us, so it's super easy, guys. We do our sections, starting from negative, going to positive. So gravity, so good. Test points, take all of me, so good. Okay. We create the sun. Oh, jeez. So much fun, pocket rocket gun. Heartbeat racing, body racing. I feel the rush, I feel the rush. Addicted to your touch, oh. So good when we so gravity, so good. Okay, and then we have greater than. So we're looking at our positive values. Actually, so it's not greater than or equal to, so we will exclude all these values. I'm not the one driving, I'm so mature, I'm so mature, I'm so mature. I got me a therapist to tell me there's other men I don't want none. I might kill my ex, not the best idea. How'd I get here? I still love him though. Okay. That's an 8. Farmer's market with your perfect peach. I'm so mature, I'm so mature, I'm so mature. I got me a therapist to tell me there's a mother I don't want no. Okay, this one has multiple parts. Alright, here's how you do this. There is multiple steps. First, we replace f of x with y. Then we swap x and y. Jesus. And then we solve for y. And then we replace y with f of inverse of x. And we test this by putting this into f of x. So canceled. So that works, and then you put f of x into f of inverse of x. So we've got so we have found the correct inverse of f of x. Let me write down the steps for you. Step 1, replace f of x with y. 2, swap x and y. 3, solve for y. 4, replace y with f inverse of x. 5, check, put, okay? Those are all your steps for finding the inverse of f of x. But this is a multi-step problem, so we still have another step to do. I'm also going to show you guys a little cheat code. It only works, it only works when your problem looks like this. Like if it was a fraction, this wouldn't work, but because it's just like this, it'll be really easy to do this. So this, when you look at it, it is multiplied by 4 and then subtracted by 9. So you would just flip it. So if we flipped it, we would do subtract by 9 and then multiply by 4, and then you do the opposite. So you add by 9 and divide by 4. So if we did x, we added 9 and then divided by 4. Wow, look at that. It's the same fucking thing. So, but that only works when they're not fractions or radicals or all that other stuff. B, graph fx and f inverse of x. Oops. Okay, so the graph. So you just pick values and then flip them for the inverse. So let's do I'm just plugging these values into f of x, and that's how I'm getting these, okay? So now, for f of inverse of x, we just flip the x and y values. Okay, so let's do blue for f of x. So I need to add some dashed lines first, though. Okay, blue for f of x, we've got 0 on x, negative 9 on y, 3, 3. You fool, you forgot to add 3. 3, 3, and then 4, 7. Connect those dots as best as you can. And that is f of x. We do f of negative x in red. But let's make the red deeper so our eyes don't explode. Got negative 9 on the x, 0 on the y. 3, 3. And then 7 on the x, 4 on the y. Okay, connect those lines as best you can. That's f of inverse of x, and that is your graph. Okay? Yeehaw. Why am I saying yeehaw? Look at what I'm left with now, boy. Give you 1 second to try that yourself. Okay, so it's 7 units to the left and 1 unit down. That is from a while ago, so I'm not gonna go over that. You look for the video on transformations if you want to know more about that. Okay, so this is a one-to-one function, and the way you check it is doing a horizontal line test instead of a vertical line test. Vertical line test is a check to see if a function is a function, and if it hits 2 points on the vertical line, it's not a function. With this, if it hits 2 points on the horizontal line, there is no inverse. So, no. Okay. Give you 1 second to try that yourself. I've said it a million times. It's the inverse. Okay. Okay, this should be old news by now, but we're gonna have to factor what adds to -9 and multiplies to +18. Okay, so king box. Go see what you have in common this way, see what you have in common this way. If there's a negative close to the line, pull it out. If the negative is not close to the line, don't pull it out, like over here. So then we check to see if we foiled correctly. Not foiled. Factored. X squared negative 3x. We did factor correctly. So now we just solve for these. And then we check our sections, starting from negative going to positive. Lowest to highest. Like if we had a line. We would have section, oh no, messed up my layers. Negative infinity to 3 is one section. 3 to 6 is another section. And then 6 to infinity is another section. So now we need to get test points in each section. Zero minus 6 is -6, -3 is 18, it's positive. 4 minus 6, -2, 4 minus 3, negative. 7 minus 6, 1, 7 minus 3, 4, positive. We have greater than, so I don't want just somebody. God, I'm messing up these layers like crazy. You're the reason why. Okay, so it's not greater than or equal to, so we exclude our values. Wow, I've really got to stop doing this. Nope. I'm gonna have to add another layer and then just not fuck up like this again. Negative infinity to 3, and then 6 to infinity. That's that one. Okay, vertical asymptote. So we set the bottom equal to 0. And this is as simplified as it can be, so there is no holes. So this is our vertical asymptote. Very easy. Okay, exponent on top is a 2, exponent on bottom is a 2. When n is equal to m, we take the leading coefficient of each and divide them by each other, so that would be 32 divided by 8, which is equal to 4. So our horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 4. And we'll discuss our big dreams, how we plan to take over the planet. Oh no, that's a different problem. Oops. I think, sorry, they just gave me some points for f of x, which were 0, 0, and 2, negative 1. Oh, sorry, this is what they did. It was on my math lab and they gave me a graph, and then they said to just graph the inverse. So we had a point at 0, 0. Let me do this in colors. F of x will be in blue. 0, 0, and then 2, negative 1. And the line looked like this. So they told me to graph the inverse. So we need to find our points. We have points at 0, 0, and 2, negative 1. Fx, you just switch the values around. Get 0, 0, negative 1, 2. So 0, 0, negative 1, 2. That's not a very good arch, but there. Okay? And then they give you pictures, and you just have to pick the right picture. So. Domain of every rational function is the set of all real numbers. No. Nope. If that was the case, then if we had a rational function that was like this, we would know from experience that we would need to exclude 3, and if it was the set of all real numbers, we would include it. But we know we don't do that, so no. Oh my god. Okay. And then it says find f of inverse of g of 8. We start from the inside before we worry about the outside shit, okay? So, g of 8. That's 4. So we're looking for f of inverse of 4. So we take this and we just flip everything around to get the inverse of f of x. So we want 4. So f of inverse of g of 8 is equal to 0. And that was it. That was the test review quiz questions I got, but let me go back through the homework and see if there was anything that was really horrible that I need to go over. Okay, let's just do these really quick. What adds to negative 8 multiplies to positive 16. Okay. Set those equal to 0. We're gonna test sections. Zero minus 4. It's positive. It's also positive. So what do we do when we're looking for less than or equal to and there's no less than values? Well, the answer is then just this. So it would look like this. Okay? Next. All eyes on me, the center of the ring, just like a circus. Okay, we need to get this in the correct form, so we're gonna have to subtract. Out there. This can't be negative. I don't remember why. I just know it can't. So we multiply each side by -1. And when you multiply or divide by a negative, when you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative, the sign flips. So now we've got what adds to -2 and multiplies to -8. Okay. Test sections. Sorry, not test sections, just sections. Okay, test points. Okay, -3, -4, -7, -3 plus 2, -1, 7, positive. Okay, -4, negative. Got 5 minus 4 is 1, 5 plus 2 is 7, positive. So we're looking for greater than now because our sign flipped. It's not greater than or equal to, so we exclude all our values. This is our answer on a number line. Oh, nuts. On a number line that would look like that. Okay. So, keep looking through the homework here. Oops. Okay. Find the inverse. So we can't do the thing that I showed you that makes our life easier because of this. So we're just gonna have to follow the steps, which is turn fx into y, swap y and x, solve for y. And then replace y with f of inverse of x. And that is the inverse. And because it's an irradical, we know it can't be a negative, so x has to be greater than or equal to -1. And then it says to graph it, but I'm not going to graph it. You would just do what we did earlier. You would plug in x values into f of x, find those values, and then swap them to get your inverse values, and then the graph. Like we did earlier. And here's another one. Okay. Turn f of x into y. Swap y and x. Solve for y. Man, the pain, you forget the day. Switch y with f of inverse of x. And there you go. And then it also says to graph, but I'm not going to do that because I'm tired. Okay, so first we need to find So I'm not sure. What the heck? Oh. They want us to find the inverse. First, find the inverse. So we'll do that thing I said earlier. This is multiplied by 3, subtracted by 9, so then we're gonna add by 9 and divide by 3. And then they want to find, what is this? F of inverse. You know what? I didn't write down enough stuff on my paper, so I'm not sure what this is asking because I did my homework when I was really tired, so I don't know why I did this, but I'll write down what I did. Cool, I love it when I don't write down enough stuff. Confuse myself later. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Let me look through one more time. Nope, we did that one. We did all these. Okay, well, that's it. Okay, bye.